Come on over, it's time for Tim Friend. Holy shit, it's Tim Friend. He's back from the dead. Oh, he's not. He was alive the whole time. It was Old Man Smithers Mangs. This joke's really sort of crumbling at the seams here, but we'll struggle onward. No, we're not. We're stopping it. I guess, like, down here we've got everyone, like, leveled up who kind of need to get leveled up, and when I say everyone, I mean just Lynn. She's back on par, which is a good place for her to be, but it's kind of depressing because she's still so fucking underleveled. Let's give her Phila's Might. Is that the thing? Yeah, Phila's Might. It'll boost her attack power for a turn. And give her that silver sword, and she'll be ready to go for any mercenaries and heroes that throw themselves on her sword. And Myrmidons? Maybe that Myrmidon will come on down. Come on down. Hilarious joke. Always hilarious. I guess we are still trying for that Florina Ninian B support, but after the shit that was that C support, I'm not super excited for it. I've been thinking about more games to play on Tim Friend recently, as evidenced by the 2 new series that are either already out or are coming out by the time of this recording. So, like, if one of the games that, like, one of my favorite games of all time is Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door for the GameCube, and it's such a fucking great game. It's an RPG, and its writing is great, and its systems and mechanics are great, and a lot of it's, like, it's not perfect. There are some parts that really do just feel like they drag the fuck on, but, like, it's good enough in all the other parts that I'm willing to overlook, or I'm willing to get past the parts that kind of drag on. Like, I think it's a wonderful game, and I don't fucking have it anymore because I've lost it. And by lost it, I mean lent it to a friend who lost it. Fuck that guy. Fuck him. If you're listening, you know who you are. Fuck you. You're not listening, though. I know you're not. So I lost it, and it's one of my favorite fucking games. And they released Paper Mario for the N64, the first Paper Mario game, but what's considered by many to be the second in the Paper Mario RPG series. So Paper Mario for the N64 is on the Wii U Virtual Console, which is still a fine game, but it's definitely unrefined. Like, it has a lot of great ideas, and then Paper Mario: Thousand-Year Door executes just the pacing better. Like, there's a lot of just sort of it's places where the content is entirely based on the enemies that are there, and that's not as great. Like in Paper Mario: Thousand-Year Door, so it's sort of like I can't even define it. It's an RPG with a lot of puzzle mechanics. So it's like if fucking Legend of Zelda was an RPG and you get into fights and have turn-based combat and stuff like that, which sounds great. Make that, someone. So if that existed, I guess that's Paper Mario RPG and Paper Mario on the N64 and Paper Mario Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars, or whatever it's called, on SNES? Yeah, SNES, I think. So, it's great, but they haven't come out with Paper Mario: Thousand-Year Door on the Wii U eShop, and I'm fucking... Oh god, I'm clenching my teeth because I want it so bad. But I don't think they're gonna do it, and it makes me so sad, because they just finished up around the final DLC for Super Smash Bros. Just came out, and I say Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS. So they're not making any new characters for that, and maybe they aren't patching it anymore, which is sad. If that ends up being the case. It might not be. Maybe they'll patch it some more. That would be cool. I would like it if they continued patching it, because I always think it's interesting when that happens. Anyway, so they're wrapping that up, and I believe, I don't have this confirmed, but I believe it's because they're sort of gearing up for the Nintendo NX to release. Which is probably the code name, so it'll probably be like, remember when the Wii was called the Revolution? So it'll probably be like the Nintendo straight up hippopotamus or something like that. It'll be something baffling in its actual name, because they want it to be friendly or some shit. Even though it looks like it sounds like they're going for like next gen graphics, which I'm down for. I don't need it though. Like, I'm fine with the Wii U. The Wii U games often look fantastic. And even if it's just because they're like a more stylized or like cartoony look, I'm fine with that. Which should be obvious to you people watching it because I love this game. And this is a fucking Game Boy Advance game and I love the visuals. Like, you can have amazing visuals with like shittier graphics. It's possible. You don't try to do things that are hyper-realistic. It's okay to get stylized. I mean, it's okay to go hyper-realistic if that's what you're going for, but to do that on a system that isn't really capable of it just makes it jarring. And fucking, like, I don't know. That's why, like, there's a game called War Machine Tactics, and it's sort of like the PC equivalent to the tabletop game I've talked about before called War Machine, where it's a tabletop miniature war game, and it's really fun. I love playing it. But they came out with a computer game of it, and the graphics, like, it looks really great if you're taking a still picture of it, but it judders like hell on a lot of graphics cards too. Like, it's just really graphically intensive, and they tried to make it super real, and then whenever something like clips through something else, you're kind of taken out of it, and you're like, oh, well, that's not a thing that happens, and that sucks. I wish that didn't happen. So if they'd made, this is the gripe I tell everyone when they ask me about War Machine Tactics, because I was super hyped for it, and then I super fell off the wagon for it, because it just bummed me out, because it was buggy and crashy and crappy. It was just kind of crappy quality, and that sucks. Things shouldn't be crappy quality, guys. Just do better. Is if they had made a War Machine Tactics game with the graphics of this game, this Fire Emblem game, I would have loved it to fucking death. Because they could have, I mean, they still would have had to put a lot of time into sprite work and animations and art. But they could have also, I mean, the graphics in this game are fucking charming. Like, you can do some incredible animation stuff, as evidenced by Lynn, the person we're fucking looking at. Like, there's some great stuff you can do with this style of graphics. You could do War Machine Tactics in that. Like, it's already got goofy shit, like in the tabletop miniatures game. You can make it not super serial. You know what I mean? I don't understand the need to make things super for realsy serial. Like, in a dark, real world, it's like, whoa, it looks just like a person. Like, no, I can use my imagination. I can fill in the blanks and make myself think it looks like a person. That's fine. I can do that. I don't need it to look as much like a person as you can try. You know? Because it always makes it look weird, because then, like, the graphics judder and someone, like, clips through something else, and it's even more jarring than if, like, a sprite clipped through something else. Like, it's ridiculous when fucking Sane uses an axe and jams it into the skull of an enemy, and the enemy just kind of stands there and takes it because they're like, oh, I still have 12 hit points left. And he's like, well, I jammed an axe into your skull. It looks ridiculous, but we still believe it because it's obviously an abstraction. Because it's not trying to be, like, hyper-real graphics, you know? But when it's trying to be hyper-real graphics, it's sort of blurring the line between abstraction and hyper-real, and reality, I suppose. And that makes it harder to take things like the camera clipping through a wall, or an arm clipping through a face, or something weird like that, and that just happens. It happens all the fucking time in games. If you press yourself into a wall, your cape will clip through a wall. And that sucks. Like, it's okay, because, like, look at Nino's little animation there. She's, like, smacking Urk in the face with a cape. Do I question it? No, because it's small, it's slight, it's subtle, and most of this shit is, like, self-contained. I don't know. This has been my graphics rant. I hope you like listening to just me rant, I guess. It's Tim Gripes again. I'm sorry. I always feel bad because, like, a lot of times I've griped about Fire Emblem, like, map design and other stuff like that, all the while playing through my fucking favorite Fire Emblem game of all time. Get more magic, Nino! So I kind of feel bad for that, but here I am fucking griping again about graphics. But I'm definitely griping in favor of Fire Emblem 7's graphics. I wish strategy games would take a leaf out of Fire Emblem 7's book, and I mean, it's on the Game Boy Advance, so it's not like being like, well, let's dumb it down for the old-fashioned styles. Like, it was probably playing within the limitations of the device. Don't get me wrong. But I think you could do something like this style of graphics for most strategy games, and it would be fine. You don't have to go fucking all-out hyper-real for strategy games. Like, there's some, like, even XCOM, which is probably the closest thing you'll get to, like, a hyper-real strategy game. I mean, it's the one that I know of. If you know any other strategy games like Fire Emblem that are, like, more recent and new and interesting, let me know. Because, like, there's XCOM, Telepath Tactics came out, like, last year, I think, and it's this sort of indie title. It's pretty fun. I didn't play it all. I only played like the first 8 chapters of it, but I'd play it again. Or I'd play farther in it. The graphics are fine, but I didn't need the graphics to be amazing. It's just I needed just them to be there and then my imagination to fill in the blanks. Maybe that's not everybody. Maybe it's just fucking me being creative and you guys are stupid nerds. That's clearly what I'm saying. I'm circling, but eventually I'll hit a point somewhere. If you know any strategy games like Fire Emblem that I haven't mentioned, let me know. Advance Wars, obviously, Telepath Tactics. Invisible Ink is like a stealth tactics game. That's fun. War Machine Tactics, obviously, I played that. Didn't like it very much. Also, the writing sucked. That's the biggest turnoff for me is writing. But in the case of Advance Wars, you'll have to watch a certain playthrough that is either already out or is coming out soon. Dancing around the issue. But I don't know. It was War Machine Tactics had bad writing coupled with buggy gameplay and difficult to understand mechanics, and then combined it was like playing a fucking house that's falling apart or something like that. Something more. Think of a better analogy for that one. It was playing a mess. It was playing a bunch of things that were never fully realized because it felt like they were trying to do too much or too many different things at once, and they all just sort of kind of fell flat, and that's a bummer. Like Advance Wars has the shittiest character writing, just the worst, but the gameplay's incredible. Like the gameplay is fucking awesome. Fire Emblem, the gameplay is rad. I love Fire Emblem gameplay. I think Advance Wars gameplay is better. Just because, I don't know, it's easier to balance because of level ups and shit like that. I don't want to get into that right now. But Fire Emblem has great writing and some strong characters, and it makes you feel like you're really progressing through a story. Epic feel. It's got great epic feel, which is a new term that I just invented, maybe. I don't know, maybe I've heard it somewhere before, but I'm basing it off of things like GameCube. So I don't know. War Machine didn't have good writing, or good mechanics, or good epic game feel. So, I guess what I'm saying is, I don't like all tactics games, but when I really like tactics games, I really like them. Oh, and I'm sad that Paper Mario 1000 Year Door is not coming out, or probably not coming out for the Wii U eShop, because I would buy that shit so hard. Oh my god. I hope to Jizu that it comes out on the Nintendo NX eShop, because it fucking better. Alright, I'll catch you on the flip side of 24 hours. Tim Friend.